She joins us on the line now for more. A very good evening to you, Ms. Stewart, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Now, an official at Sasol Secunda has accused the petrochemical giant of intentionally polluting the Vaal River. What do you know of this, if at all?
Good evening, and it's good to be with you. I'm afraid I don't know too much about this. I was unfortunately not at the Human Rights Commission's third inquiry. However, if the spillage emanated from Sasol Secunda, the impact would have been mainly on Vaal Dam. Now, this is pretty serious because Gauteng draws its drinking water, which is treated by rainwater before it gets to us, of course, from the Vaal Dam and not from the Vaal River. I think this is something that needs to be clarified with Sasol.
As you say that you've been to the other two inquiries, were there allegations about other companies there or proof against them of this particular offence?
Yes, there have been some other companies there. Again, I was not at the third inquiry. I can tell you that I attend the water forum meetings on quite a regular basis, and all companies that are actually disposing of effluent into the Vaal River have to have a water licence, each licence has pretty strict conditions attached to it, and they have to report to these water forums about any operational issues, which do arise from time to time. The only company that I can recall that has been at the Human Rights Commission was in fact Sasol.
Okay, so let's talk about the other two hearings, the submissions that have been made there. What has been your contribution?
We were fortunate in being able to make a presentation to open the first inquiry, where we discussed our role as an NGO in trying to stop pollution of the Vaal River. We talked about the various court proceedings that we've undertaken. Most recently, we have a very strong case against the Mfuleni municipality for polluting the Vaal River. The proceedings were very interesting. There were a lot of community people involved. There were some very technical presentations, but really we think that the Human Rights Commission are doing a great job.
There have been allegations of the presence of vanadium. What do you know of this?
I know very little about it. I must confess my knowledge is primarily related to the Vaal River between Vereeniging and Parade. Okay. And as I said earlier, I think that this could be a Vaal Dam issue, and it would be important to actually do water quality tests to establish the impact, if any, on the Vaal Dam.
Okay, so there's also been the issue around whistleblowers. Some of them have been threatened. Have you had any whistleblowers come to you?
There have been one or two that have given us some information, which we've obviously followed up on.
Are you able to share anything of what they've told you with us?
I would prefer not to.
Okay, so tell us about the legal proceedings that you're pursuing. What can you tell us about that? Well,
we went to court. We have about 4 or 5 very strong cases against the Mfuleni local council for polluting the Vaal River. Our most recent case was last year on the 13th of February, where we got what they call a structural interdict, which entitles us to go back to the court if we're not satisfied with the adherence to the court, the court order, by the Mfuleni local council. We haven't gone back to court as yet because there have been numerous interventions, such as the Gauteng Premier announcing the partial administration of the Mfuleni local council, and subsequent to that, the arrival of the army, at Mfuleni. However, we are disappointed in the response that we're getting from government in general terms. As an example, the 248 million, which has been given to the army now, should actually have been given to them months ago. They need more than that Their estimate for the sort of first part of their work was about 400 million. So we're a bit disappointed that they're only getting 248 because they are doing a good job.
All right, thank you so much for speaking to us about that. There is Maureen Stewart, who's the Vice Chairperson of Save the Vaal Environment. And Sasso, we tried to reach out to them for comment, but they could not come on. But they did send us a statement which they say they categorically refute the allegations that they intentionally polluted the Vaal, and saying that not only do they regard the allegations as a serious nature, but they realize that if this has happened at all, it would be a contravention of environmental laws. So we do hope that at some point we will get to speak to them about this, and of course with the Commission, the South African Human Rights Commission.